Hey guys, Tony Denaro here. Welcome back to the channel. I continue to see a lot of misinformation and overhyped clickbait being spread around on Hycroft. And as I promised last week, after the deep dive I did on Hycroft, spending weeks digging into the history and the operations of this company, I want to share with you my learnings. And today's video, we're going to be going over the Q3 earnings that were released by Hycroft on November 1st. This video is not going to be my opinion. This is going to be me sharing information with you directly from Hycroft. So the haters can hate all they want, but you cannot argue with information that is coming from the company. Again, guys, not my opinion, but I am going to cover stuff with you that other people, for some reason, are not willing to tell you about Hycroft, just so that you can be properly informed on the timeline of a Hycroft investment. And if you are speculating in an investment in Hycroft, yes, I do own Hycroft as a speculative investment. If you are speculating in it, you need to understand the risks and the timeline and the future plans of this company. So let's go through this Q3 earnings release from Hycroft that was released on November 1st, and I will highlight to you the important things that you need to know: the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay, I have the 10Q pulled up here from November 1st, the Q3 earnings for Hycroft. We're going to go through the highlights. If you haven't watched my video from last week, I'm going to put a link right up here. It covers the current and future plans for Hycroft and why I want you to understand that this is a long-term play and also a speculative play, but that will also make more sense as we go through this earnings statement. I think as long as you have the right frame of reference around a Hycroft investment, you will be better prepared to weather the next 24 months owning Hycroft. Now, in the meantime, what are the possible good news catalysts for Hycroft? Well, they are doing a core and RC drilling program, and they will be presenting the results of those on an ongoing basis, I would expect, over the next 6 months. And as we saw in September and November 2022, when these type of press releases get put out, they can create some momentum in the play temporarily. If we were to get some spectacular news on one of these core drill results, you could see a Hycroft run up well over $1. The unfortunate thing that I cannot help you with is knowing the timing on when they're going to be releasing any of these core drill results or what the results of the core samples is going to be. So if you are a call option trader, unfortunately, I'm not going to be much help because I don't know. In fact, no one knows the exact schedule of when they're going to release any future core sample results or what those results are going to say. So it's kind of luck of the draw. If you are playing call options on your dates, I'd make sure I have them out as far as possible to give yourself time to be right. On the flip side, if there's no news or the core results are not impressive, then call options are just going to expire worthless. The other thing that I want you to keep in mind as you're looking at mining stocks is that they are affected by the price of gold and silver out in the market. And we have been on a generally downward trend recently in gold and silver. So that will affect this play, whether you like that or not. That is just the facts. And no gold mine company is immune from that, because as the price of gold and silver come down, sometimes for certain mines, it becomes less cost efficient to mine the ore. If you're bullish on Hycroft, you'll want to be keeping a close eye on the spot prices of gold and silver, because if those do take a trend back up, that could be bullish for the company as well. In a macroeconomic view, and we're looking at a global recession lasting maybe until 2023, and companies that do manufacturing that need gold and silver for their manufacturing processes, they are going to tend to be ordering less of these commodities as they slow down their production going into a recession. So that is something you also kind of need to be thinking about. On the other hand, the financial effects of what central banks are doing could create a bullish run in gold and silver. These are some of the unknowns that are going on in the gold and silver market right now. And it's important that you not ignore economics or global news as you're holding something like Hycroft Mining. All right, with that talk out of the way, let's get into the 10Q quarterly report from Hycroft Mining, November 1st. Assets on the balance sheet, cash and cash equivalents, $153 million. They burned about $4 million from the previous quarter, which was a lower than normal cash burn for them. That is good. On the debt side, they have $2.3 million short-term debt and $142 million long-term debt, which is going to all come due in 2027. I'm not going to focus in this talk much about the long-term debt because Hycroft has some things cooking that they need to address well before 2027. And we're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. As I went over in my video last week, Hycroft Mining is not actually mining. We'll read their statement here in just a second. They have been processing on the leach pads ore, which was previously mined with explosives and bulldozers. That is mining. Leach pads is the first step in processing. And the revenue generated from that in the quarter ending September 30th was $8.7 million. You can see that here. And the one thing that I just want to note is that the production cost of generating that revenue was $8.8 million. The point that I want you to notice here is that in 2022, they have not been generating a profit from the ore that was being processed on the leach pads. It was eaten up by the production costs. That's not my opinion. That is right here on the income statement. Net loss in Q3 was $15.8 million when we add up all of the expenses. And for the 9 months ending September, net loss was $46.8 million. This is the number we're looking at though, $15.8 million. I'm not worried about the losses in Hycroft Mining. Well, maybe I should be, but Hycroft Mining as a speculative play is not an investment based on ore that's being processed on the leach pads. They're not making money from that. They're covering their operating costs. Hycroft Mining is a bet on this company finding and expanding access to new mineral, gold and silver, and being able to extract that in the future at a profit. We're going to talk about that coming right up. Net loss for the quarter down here at the bottom was 8 cents per share. Now getting back into is Hycroft mining or not, this is their words, guys. As announced on November 10th, 2021, the company discontinued pre-commercial scale mining at its run-of-mine operations. You can like or not like what I'm reading here. This is their own words. They discontinued mining in November of 2021. The company will continue producing gold and silver from drain down solutions on the leach pads as long as it is economic, which is currently expected to continue through the end of 2022. So getting into that drain down of the leach pad solutions, aren't they going to make a lot of money from that? Well, again, reading their words here, the company does not expect to generate net positive cash from operations for the foreseeable future. The company accordingly will be dependent on its cash and other sources of cash to fund its business. Other sources being raising new equity funding or through taking on more debt. This again goes back to what I told you last week. You can't count on Hycroft extracting ore from the leach pads. They're not even making money from it other than to just pay their operating cost. This company has plenty of cash though to survive the next year while they're doing their drilling and exploration program. Let's continue. As I discussed last week, and as we just discussed in this video, they do have some gold and silver in process coming off of the leach pads, going through the carbon in column. I'll put some photos up here for you so you can see what that looks like. And in finished goods, it is a total of about 6,700 ounces of gold with a street value at today's price of around $12 million. Again, another note here from Hycroft. As of September 30th, 2022, the company recovered all previously estimated gold ounces from the leach pad inventory. The company continues to recover ounces in excess of previous estimates during the drain down period. So the drain down period is where they flush out and close out the heap leach pads. This will be a nominal amount of gold. You should not expect any fantastic numbers creating a profit for Hycroft or something that's going to rocket your call options based on a drain down period on a leach pad. This is not active operation of a leach pad. This is the closing it up, finishing it off, cleaning it out. I want you to think of the drain down period as the final cleanup, getting that very last little bit as you're rinsing out the sodium cyanide and preparing for the end of the processing on that ore. Here's a quick look at Hycroft's debt. Current debt, $2.3 million. Non-current or long-term debt, $142 million. You can see in this table at the bottom that the bulk of that debt is structured to be due in 2027. Now, Hycroft's plan is to prove out new mineralization, finding more gold and silver that they can mine, expanding the gold and silver, you know, those reports that you've seen talking about 15 million equivalent gold ounces. They want to expand that and then create a new milling operation to extract that ore. This is going to take a year or two at least, and some money to build the new milling plant. And they want to have all that done, obviously, before 2027. If proving out all these new resources and constructing the new mill is not done by 2027, they will have a $151 million problem on their hands due to this debt. As I discussed in last week's video, I explained to you how Hycroft's plan for this year and into next year is to continue drilling and exploration to plan for the next phase, the evolution of Hycroft mining into a new mining operation, extracting gold and silver from sulfide ore, creating a milling plant to effectively and efficiently grind down and process that ore. And this is going to take some time. As they do these drilling operations, the core samples and the RC samples, they are testing this product to design the future evolution of the plant. And they say here that during the 9 months ending September 30, 2022, the company received results from samples, blah, 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 blah. They're going to be testing them. And as I have highlighted here, the test work is expected to be completed in the first quarter of 2023. And those test results will be incorporated into the overall design of the milling process flow sheet. So all of these drilling that they're doing between now and into 2023, and all of the test results, which also take time to come back, will be then incorporated into a milling process flow sheet, or basically a factory design. And then they're going to come pitch that to us. Hey, we need to build this new milling plant to properly extract the maximum amount of silver and gold from this mine. That is it for the highlights I have for you on the Hycroft Q3 earnings. You saw the revenues, you saw the assets, you saw the liabilities. If you don't understand the future plan for Hycroft, they're not mining, the leach pads are drawing down, cyanide is freaking expensive right now. They might operate leach pads again in the future if prices of the chemicals they need to operate those leach pads were to come down. But for the time being, they're going to continue drilling and exploration using the $153 million that they have in the bank to fund the operation of the company, and that's fine. I want you guys to understand, you're not going to be creating a bunch of revenue from Hycroft through leach pads. Again, if you don't understand that, go back and review the beginning of the video and look at the income statement and see that the revenue was offset by the operating cost. That's cool. That's no problem. As long as you understand that the future of your investment in Hycroft is a speculative bet on exploration, expanding the resources, building a new milling plant, and all of this is going to take several years. Reading, comprehending, and understanding what is communicated to you in black and white from Hycroft in these 10Q forms will make you a better investor. It will help you resist the tinfoil conspiracy theories going around on Twitter, Reddit, and these grifter YouTube channels whose idea of due diligence is decoding tweets. While that might be great for entertainment, that is not how we make investment decisions. Use the facts and the information that the company and the company executives provide to you with their own words and in black and white in the official SEC documents. As I said last week, we're doing a deep dive on Hycroft to help you understand this investment. And yes, there are more videos coming. We're going to be talking about the resource report, that 15 million gold equivalent ounces. We're going to be talking about how to understand core sample reports, because that is going to be important to you over the next 6 months. And we're going to be talking about that milling plant. What is the milling plant? How much is it going to cost? How is Hycroft going to afford that? We will discuss all of these in upcoming videos this week. Stay tuned for those. If you got value out of today's video, please hit that like button. If this is your very first time here, welcome. Don't forget to buy and hold that subscribe button, and I will see you on the next video.